Okay,
All
it
right,
looks like we're recording.
sweet. Well, hi, I'm Dr. Clark,
And I'm Dr. Berke. Hello.
and welcome to Science Writing.
Yeah, welcome. So this video is a chance for us to introduce ourselves and just talk a little bit about how science writing works. So let's start off with just a little bit about who we are. Dr. Clark, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure thing. So I'm Dr. Clark, and I've been at Siena for 2 years now. And at Siena, I primarily teach Gen Bio and then also animal physiology in the spring. So you may see me in some of those other courses. How about you, Dr. Berke?
Yeah, I'm also in biology at Siena. So I've been here since 2012. This is my 9th year. And I teach a lot of courses. It's like naming the seven dwarfs. So Gen Bio, biostatistics, science writing, invertebrate biology, and marine ecology. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Maybe a few other things here and there. Uh, yeah.
Probably.
So, and what do you study when you're not teaching?
Oh, so I study little things that live in the mud, little worms and clams and shrimpy things and stuff like that. I'm a marine biologist and I work on the biology and ecology of marine animals.
All right, cool. Okay.
Did you already tell us about your research? I forget.
I didn't actually, so I should.
Tell us about your research.
I will. So yeah, so when I'm not teaching, I also study animal physiology, and specifically, I study insect physiology, focusing on ants and crickets, and I study different aspects of their nutrition and behavior and metabolism. So lots of fun stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so at this point, you might be starting to wonder why Dr. Berke and I are doing this video together. And we can tell you, it's because we have developed this sci writing course together. So, Dr. Berke, do you want to talk a little bit more about the history of sci writing?
Yes. So science writing is a course that has been offered and in fact required in the Siena biology department longer than anybody can remember. I think everybody who's currently teaching in biology, the course has been running for their whole careers at Siena. And it's one of the things that makes our program really, really, really special. So this is a course in which students come in, they work in teams to conduct complete scientific studies of their own design. So they design experiments, they do experiments, they collect data, and then they write a paper about their study. And it's a really, really special, unique course. It's unusual to see a course like this. It's one of the things that made me incredibly excited about Siena way back when I first came here. And it's a course that emphasizes the process of doing science, and it's a course that is going to make you so much better at communicating than you are now. Even if you're already super good at it, you're going to get even better at it. Wherever you are now, you're going to make so much progress in this course, and it's one of my favorite courses to teach for that reason. You really get to see students grow a lot. So it's a very special and unique course, but of course this raises some issues with the pandemic. So Dr. Clark, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure thing. So, in a non-pandemic semester, usually the courses or the projects that you work on and develop, we have a lab space that's dedicated to sci writing. That's full of all kinds of instruments and materials for working on your projects. So students in the sci writing course get access to that space, and they're in that space, for a good part of the semester, working on their projects. When the pandemic hit last spring and everyone had to go home, we realized that if we tried to run this course business as usual, then if we all got sent home, it would become really, really hard for all of you to finish your projects. And so then we wouldn't really be setting you up for a successful sci writing experience. So at the beginning of the summer, Dr. Berke and I got together to talk about this, and we decided that we needed to make some changes to the projects so that we could ensure that regardless of the circumstances, you'd be able to have a successful sci-writing experience and be able to successfully complete the course. And so, you know, it's possible to complete the projects if you're in person. It's possible to complete these projects if you're studying remotely. And it will be possible to complete these projects if for some reason you have to go into quarantine for some period of time while we're in the midst of this course. And we put a lot of effort into developing flexible projects that would make this possible. So we decided to just team up and work together while redesigning this course. So, you know, to ensure that there's good flexibility to it. So having said a little bit of that generally, Dr. Berke, do you want to talk about how the first part of the course, the experimental part, is going to work?
Yeah, sure. So the very first thing we're going to do is assign you to teams of 4 students, approximately 4 students, and we'll assign each team to a project. And we're going to do this based on feedback that we get from you. We're going to give you the opportunity to learn a little bit about what the projects require and think about what sorts of things you might be able to do in the event you got sent home or if you're working remotely. And so we're going to use your feedback in order to match you up with a project that works for you and that is interesting to you. So that's going to happen right away. You'll have your assignments by the second class period. And then we're going to assign you as a team a pilot experiment. And the pilot experiment is designed to just get your feet wet, get you some experience with your system, and we give you step-by-step instructions for what you should do. As a team, you're going to be working on the pilot experiment outside of class. During class time, during the first few weeks, we're going to be working together to design your next experiments after the pilot. We call those your main experiments. So as a team, you're going to work on somewhere between 3 and 5 separate experiments that you're going to do as a next step. And you're going to do that with my help during class time. So at the end of those few weeks, you will have a whole project planned. You'll have a detailed process that you're going to follow, and you'll be ready to start working on those outside of class. You'll have several weeks to complete them outside of class, and then we're going to switch our focus in class time to doing some different things. So Dr. Clark, you want to talk about how we're going to switch our focus at that point in class?
Sure thing, Dr. Berke. So at that stage, we're going to shift our energies during class to working more to study statistics and data analysis. So you're going to be collecting data. We have to figure out what to do with that data, how to analyze it, and how to present it. And for that portion of the course, you're going to wind up seeing videos either from myself or from Dr. Berke as we cover that range of topics. And from that point, once we've covered a lot of the mechanics for statistics and data presentation, we're then going to shift into the writing portion of the course, where we're going to be learning all about how to write different parts of a scientific paper. And so for that portion of the course, we're going to use kind of a combination of approaches to develop those writing skills. So that's going to include a series of workshops to really practice all of the mechanics of writing the different parts of a scientific paper. We're not done there. So you want to talk about what comes after that, Dr. Berke?
Yeah, so then we're going to switch into peer editing. So you're going to write a paper one section at a time. So you might know this already, but most scientific papers have an introduction, a methods, results, and discussion section, so 4 sections. So you're going to draft one section at a time and then share the draft of just that section with a team of students who are your peer editing team. And everybody's going to read each other's papers and give each other feedback on those drafts. So we're going to march through the sections, and by the time you're done peer editing each section, you'll have a complete draft of a full paper. You're going to hand that in to me or to Dr. Clark. We're going to grade and give you huge amounts of feedback, like probably way more feedback than you've ever gotten on any paper before in your life. And then you're going to have the opportunity to take that feedback and go through one last round of revisions to get a really super polished final paper that you will hand in at the very end of the semester for another grade. That's how it works.
So now that you're saying that, Dr. Berke, this really sounds like it's a lot of work. I'm a little overwhelmed. Can you maybe talk a little bit about that? I mean, if I'm anxious about how much is going into this course.
Yes. Whatever you're feeling at this point is totally normal. I've been teaching this course for a long time. This is my either 9th or 10th time to the course. And it's really, really common for students to feel a little bit like, oh, what am I getting myself to at the beginning of the semester? And it is legitimately a challenging course. It requires a lot outside of class. It requires a lot of organization. It requires you to stretch yourself and think in new ways and practice new skills and grow in all kinds of directions. So that can be overwhelming at times. But I will say this, it's absolutely nothing you can't handle. We've been teaching this course at the Siena, in the Siena biology department for, I think, at least 30 years at this point. Everybody who has graduated with a biology degree from Siena in recent memory has passed this course. And if all of those people can do it, you can do it too. The most important thing is to just keep up with what we're doing week to week. So it's okay if you're having trouble wrapping your head around the whole thing. There's a lot of complexity, a lot of moving parts. Just take it 1 week at a time. Think about what you got to do this week. Think about what you got to do next week. We are all in this together. I'm here to help you. You're going to help each other. I like to describe it, it's like we're getting on a train. We are on the science writing train. The train is leaving the station, and we are all going wherever that train is taking us together.
And we'll
I will also say, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and we will all get there.
We will all get to the end, the final destination together. And I just have 2 more thoughts. So one thought is this course is really front loaded. So the first 8 weeks are very intense. There's a lot of outside work. But then things actually do calm down once we get into the writing part of the semester. And at that point, your other classes are probably going to be ramping up in terms of projects and stuff. So there's kind of a trade-off there. When your other classes aren't so bad, this class is a lot of work, but then it switches in the second half of the semester. And that kind of helps make the whole thing doable at the level of the whole semester. And my other thing I want to share is just that students get so much out of this class. I've had students come and tell me that they're off in med school, and the one class that they're so glad they had is science writing because it prepared them for their next steps in ways that they see their colleagues who went to other colleges that they're not as well prepared as they are. So it really is worth all of the time and effort that you put into it. It's an investment in your future.
Absolutely. So at this point, I think we are just about ready to wrap up, but we also want to invite you, if you have any questions, to know that you can get in touch with us at any point. We've got information about our office hours and all the different ways that you can get in touch with us on our Canvas site. And so, if at any point, you're experiencing any trouble, just reach out to us and let us know, and we'll help you, because, we're really here for you. So, don't hesitate to get in touch. Asking one question now, can save you 10 questions and 10 hours down the road. And so I think, with that, we're really looking forward to a great semester with some really fun projects in SciWriting this year.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.